Hey folks, Jay Cottrell here with eXp Realty, and welcome to another edition of Real Estate Talk with Jay. So today what I want to go over is we're kind of going a little bit of the same. It feels a little redundant over the past few weeks, though we have seen a huge uptick in new listings hit the market this week. The pendings are still fairly high. However, we did see a jump in closed listings, but I'll explain that here in a second. What do you say we go ahead and get started with the numbers? Okay, so like I intimated, the number of new listings has gone up slightly over the past week. So there were 167 new homes that hit the market over the past week. Well, that's not new construction, that's only new listings that hit the market last week, which is a decent uptick from where it has been. But if you watched my Josh's and mine's monthly market report, you'll notice that the number of new listings, the pace of new listings hitting the market has been relatively stable over the last 4 or 5 years, which is why we haven't really made any measurable or marketable increases in the number of listings for sale. So our inventory is staying low. Obviously with sales up and pending up, and really the pace of new listings hitting the market relatively unchanged, that's why we've got persistent low inventory. We would have to see a huge change in the rate of new listings hitting the market to really increase inventory any, because honestly the buyer demand is not slowing down. As you can see, let's look at the pending numbers. That number was 203, which is slightly down from the previous week, but still way up from November and December. And as long as sales are staying high and inventory is remaining low, we're going to see that upward pressure on pricing and continued low levels of inventory. If you look at the number of active listings currently on the market, that's sitting at around 1,032. It's been 1,030 or 1,040 something or 1,050 something. That's pretty much been where it's been sticking on a weekly basis for a while now. We've seen the total number of active listings at any given month have a pretty decent amount of change, but when we're just taking a snapshot of it, that number has remained fairly consistent. Now, if we do see interest rates fall this year like people are expecting, without a significant increase in the pace of new homes hitting the market for sale, we're going to probably see that inventory shrink again into the pandemic level of less than a month's worth of inventory. But we're going to have to keep our eye on that and watch it. The number of closed listings spiked to 125, but that was pretty much predictable. So we know in mid-January, if you've been watching these, mid-January, we saw a spike in the number of homes go under contract. So the number of pending contracts spiked up. Well, those homes are starting to close now. So again, it was very predictable that we would start seeing a spike in the number of closed listings on a weekly basis. The monthly numbers really give us a better idea of long-term predictions of what things are going to look like, but kind of keep an eye on the weekly numbers. Just gives you an idea of where the market is currently and what might be happening. The median sales price has remained fairly steady over the last several weeks to a couple months. In the mid 230s, it was 235. This past week for those homes that went under, those 125 homes that closed, which has been pretty much where it's been for, like I said, a long time. The mid 230s is where it's been kind of staying. Slight fluctuations up and down. However, if the number of multiple offers continues to increase like we have seen over the past few weeks, we could see those numbers going back up. Now, none of us really predict a huge home appreciation over this year like we've seen over the past 2 to 3 years. Most places they're calling nationally for maybe single-digit home price appreciation. I think we'll probably see somewhere in the teens here, but if the market, if the world, let's put it this way, if the world changes significantly one way or the other as far as the financial markets, then we might see a bigger shift in that. But I don't think we're going to see the 20, 25, 30% year-over-year home price appreciation during 2023. I think it'll be still higher than a normal appreciation of 5 or 6%, maybe double or triple that. This year, just like last year, the interest rates are probably going to dictate the market, because when we saw that slight dip in pending sales last week, my bet is that's because interest rates peaked last week and got and touched 7% again. As those start to fall back down from the peak, buyers will be more interested in actually putting homes under contract to purchase. The median list price has remained fairly steady as well. It's usually the mid 320s. It was 322 and change this past week. So we'll keep an eye on that too. Again, if the number of multiple offers and things start to increase and we start seeing those sales prices increases, we're going to see the listing prices start to increase as well, instead of where they've kind of moderated at a certain and leveled off. Now, when we look at price reductions, I wanted to add one additional layer to this for you. So if you look at the closed listings over the past week, 32% of those closed below list price. So those either experienced a reduced price before they went under contract, or the price they sold at was less than list price. And that median was 6.1%, which has, again, remained fairly steady over the past few weeks. So what we've seen of the homes closing, about a third of them are closing below list price, and it's been in kind of the low to mid sixes. But I wanted to give you another picture of the market. So if we look at all of the homes currently for sale, the 1,032 that are currently for sale, only about 9.7% of those, so less than 10%, have reduced prices. That means that their current sales price is less than their original list price. So while a third of the sales are going below, as far as the homes for sale, less than 10% of those are at a lesser price than they were originally listed for. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well, because that might give us a little faster look at what's happening in the overall market. Anyways, I got a little long-winded again this time, but just wanted to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information on our local real estate market. One of the reasons for that is I want you to be a well-informed consumer in our real estate market. Just like I do with my clients, I make sure that my clients are very well-informed buyers or very well-informed sellers, depending on what you happen to be doing at the time and while we're working together, because knowledge is power, right? If you know the market, if you know what works best in the market, then you can make really good decisions for you and your home purchase or your home sale. And also with that, if you know anybody that is looking to purchase or sell real estate, either individually for themselves or as an investor, I would love the chance to meet with them and speak with them to see if I would be a good fit. An easy way for you to do that for me is, if you do know somebody, just mention my name to them and tell them, hey, I'm gonna have him give you a call, and then just text me or email me their contact information and I will follow up with them. It really makes it very smooth. Another way you can help me is simply by watching these videos, liking these videos, subscribing to my YouTube and Facebook pages, and then sharing them with everybody. Because the more that happens, the more Facebook and YouTube are going to put my videos out in front of people that will hopefully like them as well. So anyways, I hope that you have a great week. I hope you had a great weekend, and we'll talk next week.